Okay, my dear friends, slowly place your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, thank you. So, friends, welcome to this beautiful Celestine Prophecy book club. So, we are going to talk about this book today. And my name is Sheetal. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. And I am doing this book club with Devi today. And he will be doing first two chapters I will be doing, and second two chapters Devi will be doing. And I feel immense grateful about this opportunity because I had another opportunity to read this book. And no matter how many times we read, right? Every time we read, it is a new book. So this is how the book starts, my dear friends. So James Redfield, just like us, common human being who is doing his regular things in his life. So he encounters a beautiful experiences in his life. So what it is we are going to explore. So one day his friend called James that, hey James, I am going somewhere. I am going somewhere on my work. So I have a stop in your town. So will you be able to come and meet me at the airport, right? So she was going to Tampa and she requested her old friend to come and meet him at the airport. And then this guy, I think they had a beautiful relationship when they were in the past. So the moment he receives call from Charlene, he feels so good. Wow, how come Charlene called me after a long time? And then anyway he thought, okay, no, let me get ready and go there. So he goes to a restaurant like where they decided to meet, and as soon as he goes there, he sees Charlene, and at the moment he sees it, he feels so good about it because he was able to recollect all those memories, and she was so beautiful, and the same sparkle in her eyes, recollected all the beautiful memories, and. So during that time, what happens is it starts with little drama that Charlene, she was rushing here and there. And then James asked that, what happened? So she says that, somebody stole my briefcase, like suitcase, with the documents. And then he asked that, did you report to the police? So he said, yes, I did that. But anyway, forget about that. We will sit and talk now. So they sit together and then started talking. And they feel so good about like catching up the things. And then all of a sudden, and this girl says that, somehow you are coming into my mind several times. When I was knowing about this insights. So then she says that I visited Peru, and then I met this great master there. And then he started sharing about the insights. They rediscovered these insights, which is going to alter the human consciousness. They said that, this will give you the solution to all our problems, and it is going to create a big ripple in our consciousness. That's what she says. And as a philosopher, and he was into that kind of model too, he enjoys talking all these things with her. So but he was so surprised why she's sharing all these things, and but anyway he decided to hear her out. And then she says that, everything, these 9 insights are so important, and they found it in a Peru, and the government is trying to hide from people because once they know it, they are going to evolve in a very beautiful way. So they don't want, I mean, of course everybody wants to have their control, right? So then he says, then how did you hear about this? And then she says that, I met a priest and then he shared this information. So then he asked, then, do you have all the information? She says that, no, I know only one insight, but he knows all the insights, but it is very exciting. And I came back from Peru, and whenever I was recollecting the Peru memories, and also whenever I was recollecting about the insights, I am always thinking about you. You are coming into my thoughts. I thought I would rather share this one. And I picked up a call and I decided to call you. And then, of course, they hear the story. And then after they talk, and then Charlene says that, I have to go. She says that, I need to go, but just think about it. And he says that, be careful. And she also informs that, it is very much a secret project they are doing it. And then James says that, just take care of yourself, be careful, because somebody stole her briefcase, right? So he says, he thinks that, something is going on, and he asks her to be caution. And he goes home, and then he's just swimming in his own lake, and then he was thinking, like, what happened, how come Charlene called me all of a sudden, like, what is this Peru thing, why she's sharing all these insights, all these things come into his mind. So then again, like, he keeps aside, and then he goes into the room, and then he was just browsing the yellow pages. Back then, we used to have the yellow pages for phones and travel agencies, all right. So he was like, just picking up the pages and just interested to see, like, what if I go to Peru. So then he picked up a call, and then, I mean, of course, before that, the thought came to go to Peru, but many are times he discarded that thought. But somehow, finally, the thought came again, and he traveled. He searched for a travel agency, and then he called travel agency about Peru trip. And she says that, there is a one cancellation is there. If you want to take a flight now within 3 hours, you will get a best flight and then the best accommodation with a very discounted price, right? Then he was thinking, I just want to figure it out, the future dates, but she's saying me to leave in 3 hours. Is it possible? Then suddenly, in that urge, he decided to do it anyway. So he packed whatever he has, and he rushed to airport, and then he went, and he sat in the aeroplane. And after sitting, he realized what I am doing. Why Charlene came into my life again? Why she talked about this Peru? Why this Peru thoughts came to me? And why I called this agent? And why she put me in flight in within 3 hours? And he was thinking, oh, I must be a stupid person to do all these things like in very short time. But again, like, it started taking up the flight. Anyway, I bought the ticket and I have the room. So what I will do is I will make a quick trip to Peru and come back. Okay, that is what he thought. And then he sat in the airplane, and then the airplane took off. And in between, he wanted to use restroom, and I was going to the restroom. And one person talking about one a particular person talking with the air hostess, and he was talking about, yo, thank you so much, and I'm also thinking about the same insights, and I'm going to find out about it. James was so surprised, because the first insight was she was sharing, like, when he asked what is that first insight means, she said that, it is all about synchronicities and coincidences of our life. Then if you really see all the coincidences and synchronicities happening to James, right? And the moment he discarded the thought that, okay, now I'll just go to Peru and come back, again the inside thought will come. Just imagine, my dear friends, in the plane, so many people are there. From out of nowhere, a person is talking to other person about the insights, and the moment he heard, he was surprised, and he decided to sit with that person and talk about it. And of course he did that, and he's a lecturer from New York City. And then I just want to confirm his name before I speak. Yeah, his name is Dawson. So Dobson. So he said that, how do you know? I mean, what are the insights? And also then this guy said, like, and why are you showing so much interest? So then he explains that, my friend came, Charlene, and then she explained about this insights. So do you have those insights? And then the professor says that, I do not have all the insights, but I have only two insights. Can you please share me what you understand from the first insight? And of course, James Redfield, he explains that this is what the first insight, like, which is like synchronicities and finding the coincidences. And then second insight also, I mean, that's how the story goes. And then second insight, he shares about that time now, like how things are happening, and then why we are, like, so low in our vibrations, why we are seeing so much suffering everywhere. He talks about here and there about the plan. And as I mean, they discussed so much, and then uh, also they find out that how do you know about these insights, and who is the contact person. And he says that, there is a person called there is a priest, and from that priest I know. So the same priest where Charlene contacted, right? So his name is Josh, and the same person, it happened to be the same person. And then he was explaining. So then also he says that, but why Peruvian government wanted to hide this information, and he explains that, once you know that they are going to evolve so much, maybe that is a reason. I don't know, because I need to find out more insights to even to have the comments. And now I am going for the research, and I also have a big team with me, and we all booked in the same hotel, and we are staying there. And I informed Peruvian government that I am coming to find about these insights, and I also informed. And as soon as I get down, I'm going to stop at embassy, and I'm going to say that, I'm here in Peru, because it might have anything can happen, right? So in Peru, so that is what the discussion goes. And then, of course, they get down from the plane, and then goes. And the second insight, what it says is, let me bring my notes. I would like to share as as it is. So the second insight is mainly on uh, looking at the past, my dear friends. So looking at the past, and find out all the reasons, all the things, right? Why it is happening, and of course, what kind of civilization we are building, and how we are moving forward with our life. He talked about many things. So the essence, basically, what he said is, to understand synchronicities, definitely we need to step back and see human history as a progression of awakening, right? So synchronicity is happening, but we need to understand the history to, like, what the history what we know from the books is very limited, very limited. It is not telling about the bigger picture, but it is always telling very recent history, but not entire history. So for centuries, that humanity is focused on survival. So that is how it is happening, and materialistic progress only. Maybe making money, building family, or, like, procuring everything for yourself, all that materialistic thing, right? So to I mean, before it was only needful, but later on it has become greedy. Like, we are constantly thinking of making money, making one house after other house after other house, like one business after other business after other business, but we forgot about who we are. That is what the second insight is addressing, my dear friends. So we are moving beyond, pure survival into any age of spirituality discovery. Nothing was left, right? That is where we were traveling with this materialistic comfort, and, we are thinking so-called civilization progress. It is, in a way, it is a progress, but by totally involving in it, we forgot who we are. So we are beginning to ask deeper questions now: why we are here, and what is our higher purpose. As you can see that, 10 20 years back, these questions were not there. Very few people ask these questions, like maybe Swami Vivekananda, maybe Socrates, maybe Buddha, maybe Jesus Christ, that who I am, why I'm here. So all those questions made them to realize who they are in the bigger picture, right? So we forgot to ask those questions because we were super busy in our own day-to-day life. So what that second insight is saying, that, we are seeing big change in the human consciousness. If you can see now, people are coming into spirituality, people are coming into, coming into the area where they wanted to know who they are, why this is happening, why it's with me, why the synchronicity is happening. So the second insight is saying that, there's something deeper is going. And also he suggested that anything, in order to know that complete picture, right? So we have to know all the insights. And of course, that was a discussion, and they get down the plane. And as soon as he got down the plane, and he took the taxi, like who, James Redfield, he noticed somebody's following him. And then he goes to a hotel, and then suddenly he discovers that it is not a safe place to stay, so he goes and he stays in another place where Dobson is staying. So Dobson says that why don't you join with us, anyway you are not doing anything. And then the moment he goes to Dobson hotel, there was a gunfire shooting is happening, and so much drama was happening there. Then he was so surprised, what is this? All these things are happening, why these are happening? And he's seeing that Dobson is running from one location to other location, and James Redfield got so scared, he was hiding somewhere. And all of a sudden, back of his shoulder, somebody came and tapped his shoulder. He said that come with me. And then James said, all of a sudden, suddenly, who is this guy? His skin is dark brown and his hairs are black, but his eyes are showing lot of, friendliness. Somewhere, James was feeling that being with that person is safe at this moment. So he goes with that person, and then the person take him to the place, and he closes all the curtains, and he says that are you here for the insights? He got he was surprised, how come these guys know that I am looking for this one, how do you know? And then he says that do you know that friend? Yes, I met him in the aeroplane, and then we are about to tag along with each other, and then know more about it. And then he says that did he inform the government that he's coming? So he says yes, he already informed it. So that is a problem. The government is trying to find him, and then just to close the deal, so that the insights can be hidden, and then not coming outside. So then this person says, how come government can do that? I mean, of course, there are so many reasons. And then he says that my name is Will. So I am here to, please come with me and I will help you. So then James said that I want to go back to United States. And then James says that, it is not the safe time to go now to the United States. Come with me, stay with me. And I'm going to introduce my friends. And then you are going to go after that. That's what he says. And then he takes him to the friend's place. And then as soon as he introduces James to the friend, he says that this guy came from United States, and he wanted to go to his country back. And the other friend says that hope you are going to find all the nine insights and then you leave the country. So look at that. This person came, but Will knows that he came for the insights, and his friend knows he came for the insight. But for a normal person, it is so hard to understand. And then uh, just one thought, he gives that Bill says that you can go, no problem, so you decide tonight whether you want to stay or not. I mean, by tomorrow you can decide, and after that you can go. But night he decides that there is no other way than finding the insights. Anyway, I'm here, so I'm going to find out. So he decides that I'm going to continue my journey here. And this is where we are stopping at chapter 2, my dear friends. I will request Devi to share remaining.
Yeah, hi. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Devi.
Yeah, okay. So, so basically the two insights were the foundation for the third insight. So the first insight is the chapter name says critical mass, which means a lot of people started observing the coincidences happening in their life, and they started questioning that. So the count of people who started questioning increased. And then the second insight is also a foundation, which is basically looking at the history and how it has changed in last 1 century. Like this book was released at in 1995, so it was a right time to reflect on that history. So it was like completion of a century, right? Of a 1,000 years, millennium. So yeah, the third insight, um, in the third chapter, the story follows the author, and the person who tapped on the shoulder of the author and took him along was his name was Will, the short form Will, and they were going to a lodge in Peru, which is called Viciante. So the lodge name was Viciante, and it was owned by his friend. Earlier, it used to be a Spanish Catholic church, but now it's owned by his friend. And that was basically that lodge was known for all the conferences. So scientific research and conferences were held there. So yeah, when Will and the author both arrived there, the place was amazing. It was very beautiful with long towering oak trees and beautiful pastures. So the author was feeling very overwhelming with the beauty, and then they checked in, and uh, while while they were departing, so the author was told to Will told to the author that check out the research garden in this area. So and then they separated. So the author then started looking for the research garden, and meanwhile, someone named Sarah. She is a physics professor who introduced herself to the author and said she was going in that direction and she can guide the author to the research garden. Uh, and yeah, and she also asked, "Are you here for the manuscript?" And she was hesitant. The author hesitantly said, "Yes," because the author didn't know how much to trust the other people there. So, and then the Sarah, who is the physics professor, also asked, "Do you know about any insights?" And then the author said, "Yeah, I know a little bit about the first two insights." Uh, and then the physics professor Sarah said, "Okay, do you know about anything about the third insight?" Then she said, the author said, "No, I don't know." So the third insight is about basically a human perceiving a subtle energy that is coming out from all the living things. So basically, when uh, so if you look at the second insight that said the history has changed, like we moved from medieval world to modern world, which means our thought process also changed. We started questioning. So earlier we were all superstitious. Okay, something happened. We always reasoned it out, saying, okay, this is not in our control. It might be the gods or it might be the devils and all. But then slowly, as we progressed in the history and we started questioning everything, we started finding facts, and our approach changed to scientific. So Sarah explained all this very beautifully in the book, saying like uh, our history, we started giving names to everything in this world. So as a human, we started figuring out this entire world, what this world is, and in that process, we started labeling everything. Like this is the tree, this is the soil, all this, and then we started defining each functionality of each and the nature of each things in this, and whatever we can see can be defined easily, right? All the energies, and then there was a huge leap or advancement in the science because of quantum mechanics and Albert Einstein's research, which changed the view of how the world is. So that was very scientific, actually, which I resonated a lot. So what Albert Einstein and the quantum mechanics concluded were that uh, the energy in the world can be manipulated by the intention of the person who is observing. So that was one of the experiment we might have learned in our childhood, that when we start observing subatomic level particles, and what happens is uh, the particles themselves change based on the observer's intention. So basically, we can influence what is happening in this world through our mind and through our intentions. So that was the key for the third insight, and that's what Tara said, that the third insight is about observing the hidden energy, which a lot of people are not able to see, but if you can see, then you can actually also influence. So that was the third insight. And uh, author was surprised, how can I see that energy that others are not able to see, and what does it take for scientists to prove this? Because now everything is scientific mindset, right? So now they want evidence, they want proof that this kind of energy exists and all. And then Sarah said, yes, this is what we are trying to do. So I think Sarah tries to help the author to find that energy, but the author couldn't look at that hidden energy. But they decided to meet again in the next day morning. And yeah, on the next day morning, the author comes back to the same place, waiting for Sarah. But Sarah was late, and accidentally, the author meets another person called Phil. And Phil is again one of the visitor to that lodge, regular visitor, and he helps the author uh, to see that hidden energy, because Sarah mentions why the author was not able to see the hidden energy was there are specific times and specific conditions you need to meet to see that hidden energy. So one is uh, your sense of beauty has to be enhanced. Like when you are in a beautiful location, right? You see all the colors very bright and everything clearly. Your sense of beauty actually enhances, and that's the right time to see. And the best time is when the sun is setting or sunrise. So these are the two times. There are high chances that you could see that hidden energy that is coming out from all the living things, right? So that's why they chose to meet again in the early morning to experience that hidden energy. Mm, yeah, and along the way, the author also meets another person. I don't recollect the name of that person. I think it's Professor Haynes or something. And the Professor Haynes also says that he's in the lodge to experiment how food habits and our organs function. Like what are the food habits we have, and how is it related to the organ functioning, how better the organs function, right? So he was doing that kind of research, and he also said during the process that he couldn't see that hidden energy when he was eating non-veg food, but he could see those when he was eating veg food, and not just any kind of veg food, especially the food that was grown in that lodge. So there was a lot of area where the vegetables were grown there, and those vegetables had a lot of energy in it. And when you eat those food that was grown there, there is a high chance that you could see that. And then yeah, so yeah, the author then again meets another person called Marjorie. She is a biologist, and she basically uh, demonstrates how the research garden in the research garden, how the plants are growing. So there was an experiment that was happening. Like there was one set of garden where the plants were grown like regularly, and then there was other set of garden where the plants were grown with more intention. So that was an experiment. Like so people were actually giving more attention to those set of plants and actually talking to the plants. Like they were encouraging it to grow, and they were putting more attention to those plants. And the other set of plants, they were just growing regularly, and they observed there's a huge difference in the growth rate of these two plants. So basically what this concluded is that we can enhance or influence how plants grow based on our intention and uh, our actions, right? So, and And what was also observed was that the plants that were grown with high intention had high energy, and those are the plants. If you consume, uh, you get that high energy, and you have the capability to see that hidden energy. So basically, yeah, finally, later, the narrator witnesses how the emotions and intentions can affect the energy field, right? So, and there was one particular incident that the author witnesses. So, Marjorie, who is a biologist, was speaking to another person who was actually very angry about how the experiments were conducting. So, there was one more person whose name was not mentioned, but he was very angry in the way the experiments were conducting and how they were concluding the hidden about the hidden energies unscientifically. And so uh, what the author observed was that there was energy radiating from these two people, and when they are in the argument or when they are in the discussion, their energies actually intermingled, like they started interacting with each other. uh, so that was where the third chapter left, right? So what happened in the chapter is, one is the author learned about this hidden energy, that is that all the living beings send out, and then he also observed that every person has this hidden energy, and when two people actually talking to each other, those two energies actually can interconnect, and interfere. So those were few things that the author observed in chapter 3. Then, then we move on to chapter 4, which is the fourth insight. And in the fourth insight, again, the will, the person will who bought the author to that lodge, Visiante Lodge, said the work is done here. Now, for the fourth insight, we have to go somewhere else. The author always keeps asking about the next insight, but Will always says you have to experience these insights. You can't just learn from uh, by hearing or by reading it, but you have to experience that, and that's where uh, the fourth insight, the fourth chapter starts. So they were traveling to a place called, is that place? I think it's Kula. I think, yeah, the place name is Kula. So that was also, so that place is also a virgin forest. So virgin forest, which is on the mountain. So Will says virgin forest usually has that highest amount of hidden energy. Which the lodge Visiante already had that. But the place they are going is also a virgin forest, but it's on the mountain, so it has even more higher energy that you can observe. And while they are going to that place, they meet another person. Accidentally, they meet another person called Reneu. He's a psychology professor, and yeah, so basically, they have a dinner together in some in a small hotel, family owned hotel, and in that hotel or in that house, maybe it's not like a hotel also, it's actually a very small place which was run by a family, and all three people, the author, Will, and the new person, Renew, all three were preparing to have a meal there. And what they observed is that in that home, the hotel that was run by a family of three people. So there is a husband, there is a wife, and there is a teenage girl. So there were three people, and three people were having the meal. So what they observed was uh, parents, the dad and the mom, were ordering and yelling at the girl for not treating the guests well. So because there were, like, the girl, when she was serving something, something spilled on the author's shirt or something, right? And then and the fork also fell down. So there were few things that didn't go right according to the parents, and the parents were actually yelling at the girl, the teenage girl, who is not responding or not serving the guest properly. So that incident happened, and the author said, "Don't go hard on the girl. It's okay. We are okay, and that's not a problem," and all that. So after that, all three of them left that place, and then the new person, Renew, the psychological professor, said, "Did you observe what's happening there? You saw the energy of that girl." Then yes, the author said, "No, not the energy, but I saw she was." Uh, she, she was psychologically violent, right? So that is what the fourth insight about, like when two people actually argue or talk, right? So basically what is happening is one person is sucking the energy out of the other person, like when you try to win an argument or when you try to lose an argument, right? So one of the two things happen: either you gain the energy from that person or you lose the energy to that person. So that is what the summary of the fourth insight is, right? And over a period of time, what is happening with us is that we are becoming insecure, and we are trying to control many things based on this personal energy that we are gaining or losing, right? So our sense of insecurity is growing, and we want to control things. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to win every argument and every discussion, and trying to gain that personal energy from others. And that was what all three of them observed, that the parents were draining the girl's energy out because they were shouting at them, and she didn't had a way to gain back that control in her life, right? And then yeah, the author theoretically understood this, but I think it was necessary for him to experience the same. So while going along the journey, so basically uh, Will and author are trying to find the ninth insight in this journey overall. So they found all the eight insights. I think Will found all the eight insights, but Will is in the journey of finding the ninth insight. So the journey continues, and during this journey, they meet the other person whose name is Jensen. So and they meet this person Jensen through the previous character that I mentioned, Marjorie, right? So one day they was going, Will and the author were going along the road, and the author suddenly sees this person, Marjorie, and he asks, "Where are you going?" and all, and she tells, "Okay, uh, I am working with this person called Jensen, who is also trying to find the ninth insight, and I'm helping him," right? So, and then somehow Jensen and author were introduced through Marjorie, and Jensen then uh, uh, starts knowing the author more and tries to make him a friend. Then understands what his purpose was. Then author says everything, whatever he experienced so far, and Jensen then said, "Okay, I think you are in trouble because." Peruvian government doesn't know that you are here, and it could be a dangerous thing." And he tries to erode the confidence of the author, and tries to show that he's trying to protect him. And he also says, "Okay, you can now stick with me and help me in finding the ninth insight." And ask author to ignore the other person, Will, who with whom the author was traveling till now, right? And so basically, what happens in this is, in this argument between Jensen and the author, is that Jensen tried to win the argument by convincing that he's his friend, is thinking about him, the author, and he also convinces that he is in danger, and he also convinces the author that he is going to help him get to his country back safe, right? And then somehow the author got convinced, uh, and basically in the process he lost the energy, actually. So he lost the energy to the person called Jensen. um, Will then comes to the place where these two people are, and then He says, "Come, let's go and continue our journey." And yeah, then Jensen tries to stop him, but author suddenly realizes and tags along with Will and continues his journey. And then Will starts explaining how it feels when someone wins the argument and takes your energy away. And that's what Jensen has done, right? And on the other hand, he also said that some people actually volunteer to give the energy, right? Just by listening to you. Like some people, like for example, Marjorie, when she met for the second time, um, before getting introduced to Jensen, uh, the author tried to explain everything that happened to him, and Marjorie was just actively listening. She was calmly listening, and basically she was giving out the energy to the author, and it was voluntary, and very few people can do that, right? So then the author kind of um, like becomes aware of these two states, which will put the light on, right? So in one situation he was gaining the energy through Marjorie, right? And the second situation where Jensen is losing the energy. So at the end, the conclusion, the chapter closes with Will giving the author the fourth insight, which explains that recognizing this energy competition is crucial, right? We are basically competing for this energy, and only then can people begin to break free and seek a deeper, non-competitive way to nourish their spirits, right? So we try to always compete for this energy, and we completely forgot that there is an external energy that also we could seek, and we are cut off from that energy. So yeah, that's how the fourth chapter ends, which says that we are just competing for the energy with each other. Yeah, I might miss some things or shed more details in some areas, but overall, those were two key concepts I took away. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Devi. And this is all about giving bits and pieces anyway. I mean, it is so hard to give everything.
Yeah.
So beautiful book.